Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Yes, I'm filming another obscure location. This is just for first video, and these cards are just for me to play around in the background. So this is a little short tidbit of video that I want to talk about. On two separate videos, we'll be talking about two stuff. First is Cobra Kai. This is a video on what I think of the Watch Party YouTuber channel, Watch Party's content on Cobra Kai. Now, no way is this thrashing. This is just my opinion on how I believe he pictures these characters in this world, and clearly, in my opinion, doesn't analyze the show clearly, and just sort of just tries to poke at the haters just to try and get a bit of views, in my opinion. Which is not what you do. Is if you're a fan of those shows, you normally analyze it and see what's so bad. One specific character that's gotten a lot of hate is Samantha LaRusso, the daughter of champion Daniel LaRusso from the Karate Kid movies. A lot of people have hated on her, and the video I watched in the comments said about her being a bad character. True. And then used the character known as Allie, played by Elizabeth Shue from the original Karate Kid film, as a source that she was a bad person and deliberately caused Daniel and Johnny to fight over them, or by accident. Let's clear up some things here. Number one. The whole BS video about Daniel being the real bully, that is not true. I believe he just tried to pick up on the fans who believe that Daniel was a real bully. There is no shit in the movies about Daniel being the bully. There was a very clear presence there that Johnny in the first place was bullying him. In the Cobra Kai series, that's when it came to Daniel striked first, unlike Johnny, Daniel struck first instead of Johnny. The first time they interacted, Daniel didn't know who they, as far as he had only been there for a few days, and Johnny, he didn't even know, as he said, quote unquote, he didn't know Johnny existed until he got out of the beach. All he knows that he broke her radio and she was upset, so he was being chivalrous and defended her, and was confused when Johnny pushed him over, and Judah, being a hothead, got into a fight, and Johnny's arrogance and hot-headedness got him a punch in the face, which is what Johnny talks about when he tells the story to Miguel and Cobra Kai. Daniel was not the real bully. It's pretty clear that Johnny tormented him for most of his time in high school. Not to mention that Johnny Lawrence nearly quite actually killed him. In the alleyway scene, the beat-up scene when Mr. Miyagi saves Daniel from a bunch of the bullies, not only was the punch that Johnny was about to do while Dutch holding him up, Johnny's punch, had he landed that kick on him, would have likely killed him. But luckily, Mr. Miyagi stepped in, because unfortunately Bobby Brown couldn't try and get into the good side of Johnny Lawrence. Obviously, soon Johnny Lawrence and the rest of the Cobra Kais, except for Dutch, soon learned what the bad parts of Cobra Kai were, which means likely Dutch was one of the few remaining students staying in there until he got arrested. Because, well, why wouldn't he? He loved it in there. If his friends left, that wouldn't mean squat to him. So yeah. But yeah, Daniel was not the real bully. This is just this topic I wanted to cover at the start of the video. Daniel was not the bully. They beat the shit out of him every week. They kicked him around, and he pretty much made them fear him. So, yeah. But with that dumb video out of the way, that video that was dumb as hell out of the way, let's move on to the next subject, Samantha LaRusso. Now, a lot of people, the infamous school fight is one reason she's blamed for. Now, how about we just compare her to another character that often... How about we just talk about, this fake comparison that some of the commenters say that apparently she's so similar in comparison to Allie Mills, the girlfriend of Daniel Russo and Johnny Lawrence from the first film. Now, Allie did not cause Johnny and Daniel to fight over. Johnny, out of jealousy and anger, got angry and wanted to be back with Allie again. And Daniel, not knowing who the hell this was and broke her radio, wanted to be chivalrous. So that's why they fought. So the commenter who commented that was complete stupidity. I get that. I am not, in no way am I thrashing on his opinion, but I want to, because I am. This is YouTube. People thrash on people's opinions all the time. There's hundreds of videos where people thrash opinions of other people's opinions, deliberately just to thrash the opinion. Like I said, I'm not taking a strike at Watch Party. I'm just showing my opinion on how I feel about how he treats some of the characters in the show. Anywho, Allie Mills, just to finish off that subject, Allie Mills was not like that, and she's nothing like Samantha LaRusso. She has similar. Allie Mills and Kumiko both have similarities to Toy and to Samantha, and so does Jessica. They all have similarities to those two characters, except Aisha. But yeah, that's it, okay? Now let's get on to the Samantha part. The biggest, most infamous thing, like I said earlier in the video, she's known for is that she's blamed a lot for starting the school fight that happened. Now, to be fair, she did not start the school fight. Here's what happened. A day before the party, now this is big spoilers, a day before the party, Moon invited the Cobra Kai students and the Miyagi-Do students to a party before the summer ended. And Miguel and Sam kissed, but the problem is that Miguel was dating Tori Nichols, a fellow student of Johnny Lawrence and John Kreese, and Samantha was dating Robbie Keane, son to Johnny Lawrence and student of Daniel LaRusso. So yeah. That was an awkward moment, and not only that, not awkward, that was a thing that pissed Tori off and caused her to go after her. And not only that, well, caused a school fight. And then the watch party apparently blames the reason, apparently she was the reason Miguel got injured. Now let's assess the situation here. Samantha, let's assess what was happening here. I don't know, how about we first apart that she was drunk? I don't know, maybe watch party didn't do this very big analyzation of the episode. I guess that he analyzed the episode very well, didn't he? Yeah, you know what I mean by analyzed? We analyzed the episode, looked through details. Yeah, because he analyzed a episode. But let's look at the factors here. 1, she was drunk. She was clearly drunk and did not know what she was doing. 2, Miguel was also drunk, so this is another thing. 3, they were both tired, so I'm not surprised this happened. And 4, they were both exes that still had strong feelings for each other, so I'm not surprised this happened. And 5, well, yeah. Tori had the chance to not take it too far, but due to the stupid amount of poisoning John Kreese had put in her, Tori thought to strike back harder since Samantha, yes, like Robbie Keane says, she is a good person. Yes, so what? She had her flaws. Yeah, so what? She told Miguel that she never wanted, she didn't want Miguel to hurt anybody. So what? She appreciated Miguel for beating up the bullies. Because, well, let's assess the situation. Let's assess that one. When Miguel beat up Carla and his Brooks and his other friends and his cronies, not only had she spread lies about her and bullied him for the entire time, I'm not surprised she was happy with them getting beat up and seeing a different side of Miguel. So yeah. But that's it, okay? Now that's the part where we climb into the other bit. Samantha, well, she's a hypocritical person. She's hypocritical, and yeah, she's quite hypocritical. That's what real people are like. Real people in real life are hypocritical. Does that mean we hate her? No. She's what I believe is called, like the Strife the Warrior video said, she is a polarizing character. She's a difficult character to like. You can like aspects of her and not like aspects of her. She's way better than a piece of shit brother, Anthony, who is literally one of the worst sons I've seen in my life in the TV show. He's mean to his father, doesn't really give a shit about anybody, and pretty much is a dick. And pretty much has no reason to be there other than being just to be an asshole. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, and did I not mention? This has swearing in it. And the next one's going to have even more. So, sorry, kids. Guess you won't get to know about this news until you're about, well, my age, I guess, 14. Although I did get exposed to swearing at 6. So, yeah. That was dangerousness of me. That was me being stupid in the net. So, yeah. Let me just get off my topic of my pretty decent childhood. Don't get what I'm saying then. Okay, let me just continue. Like I said, Samantha is a hypocrite. She's a polarizing character. That's true. She's made mistakes, but she's still a good person. Everybody's flawed, so I do not get why the Watch Party channel does not openly just acknowledge this detail. So yeah, I find that disappointing. He never tries to acknowledge the detail that well, she's made mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. She made the mistake of befriending Moon and Yasmin. She made the mistake of neglecting her friendship with Aisha. She made the mistake of dating Carla. She made a lot of mistakes. She made the mistake of kissing Miguel. All that. Because, well, even though she did all that, she's still a good person. And then after that, obviously, after Miguel and Samantha kissed, this got Tori to strike back. Now, I find it shocking that Watch Party doesn't try to look at Tori for what she did. Yeah, Samantha and Tori had already started their rivalry, and maybe, Samantha and Tori did run into each other at the country club. At first, they got along, but she didn't like her delinquency, and blamed her, and thought of her stealing the wallet, so she did assume wrong. But everybody makes wrong assumptions. I mean, everyone does it. Even he has probably made wrong assumptions about people. So, of course, that led to them becoming more rivals. And then obviously she got a bit jealous of, obviously Tori thought that maybe Miguel and Samantha still had something. But Miguel was just trying to put things under the bridge and just to put water on the bridge and put one of his bad regrets away. Now let's assist other. Now after that, obviously she flipped it. She flipped him off her. She pushed her over, and then he flipped her. She flipped. Samantha flipped Tori off her feet, legs, and then Tori smiled as they were kicked out. Okay, so that's another factor. It's not, but these are small factors. So the big reason about why Watch Party's videos are a bit hard to watch. Now let's skip to the next part. Now we're back to the school fight. Tori, like before, tried to strike first when it came to that. Obviously, her rivalry with her just made her her full-on enemy, and that's the same for Samantha. Not only this, whilst I do agree with Watch Party that her PTSD storyline in the third season was poor, I can agree it was kind of poor, never really went anywhere. It worked for Tony Stark in Iron Man 3, I'd say, but it didn't work for, it works for some characters in horror movies. It worked for Tony Stark in Iron Man, but it didn't work for Peter Parker in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, if you even call that PTSD, Ghost Dad PTSD apparently, and it doesn't work for this one. But we'll cover that later. Let's go back to season 2. Obviously, Tori starts to fight with Samantha, and then other kids start fighting. Because while Robbie steps in to try and defend Samantha, even though whilst he knew that she made a mistake, he knew that she would soon be able to rectify. She would soon be able to, well, fix her mistake. Sometimes you make mistakes and you can fix them, or you have to live with the consequences. That's the kind of thing you gotta live with. You either do two things when you make a mistake: you try and fix it the best way you can, or you live with the consequences. Or 3, you just don't really care about it. Unfortunately, some people do choose the third option, but some people do try and choose the first and second option most of the time, especially when it comes to romance. But that's a story that no one needs to open a book on. Let's just shut that book and move back onto the main point. Basically, during the school fight, Miguel sees Robbie holding Tori back, slamming Tori back to the on the lockers and kicking out other students. And Miguel assumes wrong and so tackles Robbie to the ground, and they start a fight together. Sort of resembling the fight between Daniel and Johnny. Yet again, Robbie and Miguel are now reigniting a fight that over one girl. Yet again, it is always a story about two boys fighting over one girl. In this instance, unlike Daniel and Johnny, it is now Johnny's son Robbie and Miguel fighting over, well, Samantha. And then Tori and Samantha fighting over Miguel. So yeah. Whilst, yes, Tori made a mistake, like I said earlier in the video, she made a mistake. And she's a hypocrite, like everyone in the world can be. But that didn't mean she's still a decent person. And Tori then struck back harder and took in John Kreese's lessons to heart. Strike first, strike hard, and show no mercy. So she did, and scarred Samantha with a mark literally, physically, and mentally. And emotionally and spiritually. And socially. A lot. And, well, after the school fight, she was suspended and put on probation. And then Samantha had to go suffer PTSD from it. And was obviously suspended for a very good reason. Even Amanda thought it was very, very stupid and uncalled for to suspend Samantha. Whilst I disagree with Amanda that, well, yes, Samantha was just doing it in self-defense, Samantha did in turn kiss Miguel, so she did deserve, not to mention she did cooperate, not to mention she was one of the starting factors of the school fight. She still fought, whereas she could have just defended herself and finished off the fight. Rather than, she just decided to continue the fight. So, yeah. Nonetheless, she also involved in Miguel's incident falling off the balcony, so I'm not surprised she was expelled from school. So, yeah. Also, now let's look at the big part, when Miguel gets kicked off the balcony. Spoilers for those who haven't seen it, but basically, during a fight between Robbie and Miguel, they fight over Sam, and then soon, Miguel puts Robbie into an arm lock that surely could break his arm, and we'd see that happen later on with his fellow soon-to-be ex-classmate Dimitri get that in the third season. What happens is that Miguel goes through his head and realizes that it's not right to do this to somebody. He lets go and says he's sorry for kissing Samantha, but due to being unbalanced and well pissed of all the amping up shit that Miguel had said earlier, practically this left him unbalanced and pissed, and so he kicked Miguel in the face, smacked him a few times, and then kicked him off the balcony. And well, this knocked him off the balcony, and he broke his back, nearly being paralyzed. Luckily, he ended up being alright, but Robbie made a mistake. So yeah, and Watch Party completely instead actually blaming one of the real victims, people who did it, blames it on Samantha. Whilst yes, Robbie did indeed kick him off. Does that mean he's the sole subject of what happened at that school? No, it isn't. Because the ones who did it, everyone had a bad side of doing it. There was Samantha who started it. She did start it, but Tori tried instead of ending it in a more discreet way. Instead, took John Kreese's lessons to heart, like I've said 100 times over, and striked harder. Basically, yes, Samantha made a mistake, but Tori, instead of letting it get to her head and jealousy taking over and envy, she decided to strike first and strike back. And obviously, that led to the school fight. So she's at fault to blame too for the whole school fight. And Samantha's also at fault for kissing Miguel, and Miguel's at fault for reciprocating that kiss, and Robbie's at fault for kicking Miguel off the ledge. And also instead of trying to stop the fight between him, he still tried to stop the fight between him and Miguel while trying to stop the fight between Tori and Samantha. So yeah, nonetheless, that's it. Okay. Now yes, like I've said, Samantha has made mistakes. And in my opinion, since the video was made before Season 3, he said that Samantha should have gone to Okinawa. No, her character arc written for the series, I've watched it over 10 times. I've watched it 4 times, the series as a whole, and episodes separately 5 times. 5 times I've watched the series. I've watched Season 3. 4 to 5. 4 to 5.5. And not once do I really think that the whole storyline about Samantha going to Okinawa would have fitted in with that storyline. Then Daniel LaRusso, in my opinion, deserved the storyline more, rather just solo by himself, because Chosen and Kubiko were from his past. Those are characters Samantha doesn't know, because Samantha doesn't need to know them. Her storyline was better back in the Valley, and meant as a weak, really, really weak PTSD storyline. Although I did like how Season 3 of Cobra Kai focused less on Johnny Lawrence and more on the children. Whereas the first season focused on Johnny Lawrence as a protagonist, Season 2 focused on other characters too, and then Season 3 focused more on the kids, whilst keeping it with Johnny and within Johnny and Daniel's perspective. Likely Season 4 will go that route, with them covering Daniel, Johnny, Kreese, Terry Silver, and then all the kids. So yeah. With that, Samantha, overall, to wrap the video up, Samantha's made mistakes. Does that mean we should say she's a good person? Hell no, she's made mistakes. She is a decent person. Decent and good are good. Decent is still good. There's 100 of decent people around the world that aren't as good and perfect. Because, it's a watch party, yeah. I think Anthony LaRusso should be the bully to Kenny. Now, Kenny is a new introduced character. And in my opinion, when he says that the whole bully trap hasn't been tried before, it hasn't. Because, Daniel wasn't a bully. Neither is Samantha. Because as you can see, she doesn't really try to bully. She more stands up for herself. So, yeah, I think I would like it if they, did a bit of, a bully thing. Especially because, like the Watch Party video guy unfortunately said, it would make sense that, I think either Strike the Warrior said this or Watch Party, that, if Kenny was bullied by Anthony, he would of course not go to Miyagi-Do for protection. He doesn't want the fence. He wouldn't go to Eagle Fan. He would go to Cobra Kai. Because he wants to learn how to strike first and strike hard. And learn how to strike first, strike hard, and show no mercy to those who would show no mercy to him. And so Kreese, realizing that Anthony LaRusso would be his bully, would make sense. So whoever said that, either Watch Party or Strike the Warrior, I will confirm that in the next video that's about Spider-Man yeah. Oops, I just spoiled who's going to be, what the next video is going to be about, but, oh well. But yeah, nonetheless, overall, what's the future like for Samantha, Tori, Robbie, Miguel, and all the Cobra Kai characters? Well, we'll have to wait for December 31st to find out, which is when the new season is airing. A commenter on the channel, on one of my previous videos, asked me when it was going to air. I said December 31st, and he meant what time. Honestly, I really don't care what time it is. Just find out yourself, in my opinion. If you want to know, the commenter who said that, no offense, just find the time out yourself. I don't really want to know. I can just go to sleep and wait until 7 to 8 o'clock when I wake up, and then by then it would have released. Because even though everyone has different time zones, they do release around the same time. Just different because of time zones. So somebody says 3 a.m. or 12 a.m. It's because everyone lives in a different time zone. Okay. Now that's that. But nonetheless, guys, yeah, that's it. Also, I do believe, here's another thing I really loved. The YouTuber Strife the Warrior did a breakdown of the trailer, or Cobra Kai Kid, I believe. No, Strife the Warrior, where he's dipping Tori, where it shows a shot of Robbie at prom dipping Tori. Now, some people think it's not Tori, because, well, her hair's short, but she can just cut her hair short during the series, so I believe it's Tori. And I believe Tori dressed as a little mermaid. Those balloons don't look like they fit the whole aesthetic of the senior prom. It seems to have a similar aesthetic had we seen it in the Karate Kid Part 1. I mean Part 2. Now, the big thing is that I believe that what a Paint List fan said on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, that apparently a theory is that Terry Silver will use his leverage and money to put Tori and Robbie back in school. Which will make sense, because, well, here's the big 3 factors. Yeah, 3. 1, Terry Silver's a rich man. He owns a big company, and, well, he would likely be able to do that. Number 2, he's great at manipulating people. He's been seen before to manipulate Daniel Miyagi to think that John Kreese is dead and that he's a good person. Number 3, he's rich. He can easily bribe them back into school. And then now, the one big reason I think it'd be good is tension. It would add tension. Unlike Watch Party's opinion, in my opinion, having all of them at school would add tension. Because while having Carla there just sounds kind of boring, it wouldn't really add tension. It would add tension for Miguel, but having Robbie and Tori there would add suspense. Because not only would Tori, Robbie, and Carlo all be there, including the other main Cobra Kais, those 3 characters verse. So, here's the thing. Robbie, Tori, and Carlo, and then you have the tension on the other side with Miguel, Samantha, and Eli. So yeah, and even Dimitri and others. So yeah, that's a big load of tension, not to mention the other ones like Bert, Nathaniel, and all that. It'd match up to that. So I believe that's, yeah, pretty much anything can happen. And I do believe Hawk will eventually morph into a sort of mid-cool person and realize what it truly means to be Eli and to be cool. He'll find balance between it. He'll soon learn balance and find balance between it. I believe he'll keep the cool part. I believe he'll keep the big fat confidence and muscles that being Hawk has given him. But he will likely later on only use it as a nickname and probably go back to being called Eli. And then, well, obviously, he'll still probably change his name back to Eli again and keep Hawk as only his nickname. And then likely, well, he'll probably have to keep the tattoos. But he'll likely change his mohawk color, probably. And then lay back the mohawk. I would like it if he, because the behind-the-scenes shots are seeing his hair without the mohawk added. Because yes, the mohawk is real. He just spray paints the ends of his hair. And with his hair down, it looks kind of cool. I would actually like that to be how he looks in the after season 4. Or even at the end. It'd be a cool look for the guy, and yeah. But yeah, that's what I really want. I would love to see him be a more calmer person, not let the anger get to him. And just still get into some of that quote-unquote nerd stuff, like Doctor Who and all that. Still be interested in that with Dimitri, so they can rekindle their friendship, but evolve the friendship into a new form. So yeah. But still keep the confidence that made him Hawk, and still keep the strength. But do not use the anger. Be balanced. Which is why, if you guys noticed in the trailer, all the Cobra Kais and Eagle fans are training with Daniel LaRusso, whilst all the Miyagi-Dos are training with Cobra Kai. Yes, I am dragging this video out and I'm getting off subject, but yes, that subject is finished about Samantha LaRusso. But here's the thing. I believe that, obviously many of you who have common sense about Cobra Kai would know that, well, each side is teaching a different side. I think that's why it can be great with 2 teachers. Like if Daniel needs to go work at the dealership, Johnny could take over. Johnny needs to go out for something, Daniel could take over. The thing is that it can teach them, Johnny's taught them nearly everything he knew to all the Cobra Kai / Eagle fans. He taught them most of what he knew to them. And then obviously Kreese taught them the more violent move techniques. And obviously, well, he's trading with the Miyagi-Dos. He's likely going to try and, he's going to try and teach them the more offense, to show them more offense stuff. Not be too aggressive. He wants to show them the more offensive stuff, if you know what I mean. Basically teach the Miyagi-Dos more offensive stuff. And then Daniel will want to teach the Cobra Kai's more defensive techniques. This is a similar thing, but in real life, except this happened in my school, but we didn't learn karate. In my school, from time to time, our classes switched around, so we switched between certain classes. So like, last year we had a multi-language week, I believe it was, and I was split into a group with some friends and other people, and we were split off into different groups, and we would swap around and learn different things, whilst the other group learned something else. Some of them were how to dress up like a Maori person. Yes, I felt weird having to strip down a bit in front of public. It felt uncomfortable. Not all the way. No. Don't you dirty minded people think I stripped nude. No, I did not do that in a public classroom. No, not that. But yeah, I also had to learn some hard dancing techniques that were clearly hard for me to master because I did not know how to dance at all. My cousin's better at that than me. And then there's obviously, there was learning how to draw Maori kurus, learning about Maori plants. But yeah, you get what I mean. We switched between each while others learned something else. That's what I believe. It's even happened to me before that. Except we didn't learn karate in any of them, so yeah. But yeah, nonetheless, that's that. Cobra Kai's will go with Daniel to learn defensive techniques. And Eagle fans will go with Miyagi-Do's will go with Johnny Lawrence to learn Cobra Kai techniques, and then Eagle fans will go with Daniel LaRusso. Sorry, I'm not used to saying Eagle fan and Miyagi-Do. They sound a bit similar in my opinion. Don't judge me. But yeah, that's it nonetheless. Yeah. Oh yeah, and if you've been hearing the noise in the background for the past 26 or 25 minutes, that's me flipping these cards. I'm just doing this. And this. That's why if you saw me look my eyes down for a bit in some shots, I was doing this. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing this. And yes, this is indeed a bracelet thingy, I think, for Marvel Comics. Love Marvel. Yeah, I'm pretty devoted. I'm even setting my recorder on a Spider-Man Homecoming DVD, which is still stuck in my DVD player. That broke. Now I need to get that out. Great. Anywho, but yes, tell me what you think of that. And yeah, just guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and click the notification bell wherever that naughty thing may be. Why did I say it was naughty? To catch up on some more content. And yeah, tell me in the comments below, what do you think of my opinion? And I'm not leaving any links in the description. Also, just make sure to comment what's your favorite season of Cobra Kai and why, and what's your favorite Karate Kid movie and why. And another final question. Who's your favorite character? My favorite character from the Karate Kid movies is Daniel LaRusso, obviously, and Johnny Lawrence. And then from Cobra Kai is Robbie and Miguel. I don't know, those two are just very fascinating characters. They're like juniors. Miguel is like the Daniel of his generation. Robbie is sort of taking the position of Bobby Brown and Johnny Lawrence. Oh yeah, and I believe Robbie Keane is like an evil Daniel LaRusso. A Daniel LaRusso who never quit Cobra Kai, just continued to be in Cobra Kai. And then Bobby Brown, a more sympathetic bully who had a line he wouldn't cross. And in strength and brute force would be Johnny Lawrence. The Johnny Lawrence from '84, that is. So yeah. But yeah, guys, see you next time, and I'll see you in the next video.